Chapter 6, Sally Works with Caprice. Episode 1. A few weeks later, Sally lay flat on the top of an office building in Miami and tried not to think what Daisy had planned for her. Billy was to stay in Washington till further notice. He was working on code. Sally was needed to help on a special assignment. Sally had a stealth helicopter waiting behind her and a long-range, high-powered assault rifle in her hands. "Sally, we can't hang here any much longer." She heard Daisy in her head. She hadn't really said anything. She wouldn't when Sally was aiming at a target. It was taking too long. She just couldn't see her target. He had gotten down on his knees in front of a gravestone. Sally wasn't certain if she could make the shot count with a shot up his ass. "Stand up, you scumbag." And as if he had heard her, he stood up and looked exactly in her direction. Likely he saw the helicopter. Sally waited just a second, the blades making a quiet whop, 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 the gentle wind blowing in a slight smell of salt air. "Focus, Sally." The flowers were fresh on the grave of his wife, who he had killed but had been acquitted of because of lack of evidence. A several $1,000,000 motive. That wasn't the reason for the hit. Sally and Billy never knew the reason behind their well-paid assignments. Sally cleared her thoughts and shot the man in the head. By the time his brain parts hit the ground, Sally was jumping into the helicopter. The helicopter started to fall away slowly from the building and out toward the dark. Sally took the gun apart and tossed the pieces out into the ocean. It seemed like such a waste, but she knew that there was an endless supply of guns, and though they weren't as easy to trace as a smart device, they did tend to leave their signature. "How is your brain treating you, Sally?" "It's working well. Not like Billy's, but I'm fit." "Good to hear. Where am I going?" "You are going to meet an old friend who you won't remember. Your body used to be a friend. It might be hard. Take your time. You two are the best for this assignment. Make it work." It was the first time Daisy had been with Sally on a hit. Sally wasn't nervous really, just curious as to why. If Daisy intended to tell her, she would. So Daisy decided to watch the moonlight reflecting on the waves. Sally, not Daisy. Well, maybe both. Your next assignment doesn't require Billy to be there. He will be virtually there anytime you think you need to know something. You will have local support as well. The company is everywhere. Daisy smiled and wondered. She wasn't certain about the South Pole. Sally closed her eyes and listened to the sounds. She didn't know how much time had gone by when she noticed the helicopter come to about 3 meters above the water. It was her stop. She figured that out, but she had a quick look at Daisy anyway. Daisy gave a hint of a smile and nodded. "Have some fun." Sally jumped. By the time she had fallen into the water and resurfaced, the helicopter was gone. Sally could swim better than most people, but she would die of thirst just about as quickly as most of them. She wondered if the company lied. They could say they never killed their own. Daisy said that assassination really was not a significant part of the company. It was clear that Billy was their lithium mine. She was just another trained killer. She floated on her back after she looked around for about. The moon was nearly full. She could see a fair distance. She knew where north was. South might get her to Cuba. She was just about decided to give it a go when she felt a disturbance in the water. She could make out a black rubber dinghy. When it got beside her, a pair of arms reached out to haul her in. She nodded a thank you, but didn't figure it was time to speak. She looked in the direction they were soon heading and saw a boat, a rather large luxury sailing yacht with its sails down.
Where's the bottom, bruv? There it is.